where we sit? Any right here?
To see if you can sit right here.
Uh-huh.
If you can see it.
Yeah, but I will sit on your left or on your right.
I was gonna have you sit here.
Me right here and you.
And you right there.
You right here, okay. And the guest, that means me right here. Okay. All right.
Do you think this will be a good view?
Okay. Yes. That's good. But later we will move that side. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Mr. Lam vừa ngồi kế.
Fellowship, friendship, and service. Thank you for the blessings of our individual and collective God-given gifts. Place in our hearts the desire to make a difference to our families, our community, and to our country. We ask that you lift up those who are seated in places of authority in our city and our nation. Help them to recognize that rights are not granted by government, but are given by you. Strengthen them with wisdom and grace as they work in the best interests of the people they are called to serve. Please bless the food we will share and those who prepared and will serve it. For all of this, we give you thanks. Amen.
Amen.
Please stand at attention if you are able, facing the flag. Place your right hand over your heart as we express our allegiance to the United States of America. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated.
Mr. Lam tận dụng cơ hội này để lải nhải cho mọi người thấy ở đây không có ai đeo mặt nạ cả, không có đeo mask. Chỉ trừ những nhân viên của khách sạn phục vụ thì họ phải đeo. Hôm nay là ngày 24 tháng 8, 2021. Mr. Lam đang có mặt tại khách sạn Holiday Inn thuộc quận hạt San Diego.
Thank you. Oh, here's one. Looks like a candidate. Walks like a candidate. Must be a candidate.
So, Anthony, I was just saying I'm going to get started with the folks that are here on the introductions.
Sarah Stevens is a wife, mother of 5 beautiful children, a pastor, community leader, and motivational speaker. I guess you'd have to be if you have 5 kids.
Born and raised in San Diego, California, Sarah graduated magna cum laude from San Diego State University with an English degree. Since the young age of 21, she has been the founder of multiple nonprofits, such as the Last Days Tour, Healing Hearts and Nations, Freedom Fest USA, and Redeeming America Tour, all nonprofits involving community outreach projects at home and abroad. Having been married to her husband Daniel, who has served in the United States Air Force and San Diego Police Department, Sarah has forever known and lived, Sarah has forever known and lived the price of freedom. For the last 7 years, she has dedicated her life to honoring our nation's first responders. Sarah has a true love for God and country and has a fire and passion to revive the heart of America. Sarah declared to run for governor of California in February of 2021 because she believes she is the woman for the job, to stand up and fight for the freedom of Californians. Sarah. The question is, what are the top 3 priorities that you will address once you become governor?
Thank you so much for this opportunity to be here. The top 3 issues that I am fighting for right now in California is, number 1, we have to have a prosperous, thriving economy again. Why did we have in 2020 over 175,000 people leave our state? Because people simply could not feed their families. So it's time for us to lower taxes, cut regulations, help small business owners, and that's what I've been doing all last year, is fighting for small businesses. And some of you know and some of you don't know, but all across the state of California, Gavin Newsom gave each individual county money to go door to door to shut businesses down. And where I live in Riverside County, I fought all last year for small businesses, and every time we did a protest, we got cease and desist fines and lawsuits off of every business that we fought for. Even one business itself had a $150,000 lawsuit we got taken off in a day. So it is time for us to have a prosperous, thriving economy again, so the entrepreneur spirit can thrive again in California. Number 2, we have to reform our education system. We have the biggest budget right now on our education, and we're ranking 49th on the list within the nation. It is time to reform our education system to get critical race theory and the sexual indoctrination out of our schools so that we could truly equip children to live a prosperous, thriving future. Also, we need to get the homeless off the street immediately. I have years of experience of getting the homeless off the street. This is our pandemic right now. We have over 175,000 homeless on the street and 20,000 homeless veterans right now in downtown Los Angeles. I go out every single month trying to get these homeless off the street. There's so many programs available. We can do this. I want you to know that the crisis that we're facing in California, even though the mountains look so huge, I'm a Christian and I believe with God all things are possible, and that we could turn this state around in a very short matter of time. And something else that I am fighting for daily, I just got invited to one today, but what I am fighting for is medical freedom. It is time for us to have the mask taken off of our children. It's time for people to not lose their job because they don't want to wear a mask or they don't want to get a vaccine. I get hundreds of text messages and emails every single day of people saying, Sarah, will you fight for me? Will you fight for me? So day one in office, I'm getting the vaccine mandates and the mask mandates taken off. It's time for the banner of freedom to be released over the people of California. Thank you.
Sarah, a Republican government has very little power with a Democrat supermajority in Sacramento. Given the composition of the legislature, what can you do to make life better in California?
Thank you so much for this question. So, what I know I can do as a governor is when anything comes upon my desk, there's something that I'm not in agreement with, I have the power and the right and the authority to veto it. So all of the legislation that's coming out right now across the state of California, whether it's regarding education, our law enforcement, our housing, I can veto anything that I don't like. So that is what I plan on doing, because I know there is so much legislation that's coming out that I do not agree with in any way, shape, or form. For example, what has come out with the law enforcement and how anyone can go into a grocery store anywhere in Los Angeles, fill up their shopping cart, and leave with $950 and no one even touches them. So I can veto all of this stuff. So that's my number one plan. I will not be bought out. I will not be sold out. I've already had Freemasons try to buy my nonprofit before. I've had people say, hey Sarah, I'll give you $150,000 per event, $200,000, how much do you want? I said, I'm not taking your money because I have one person I'm accountable to. So I want you to know that dealing with this situation, what I'm going to do, and I'm doing it right now, I am partnered up with candidates all across California. We call ourselves the Gold Team. My whole theme is Make California Gold Again. So I have friends all across the state of California, and they're running for Senate, Congress, Assembly, DAs, mayors, and guess what? They're all pastors. They're just as passionate as I am. And one election, in 2022, we could flip all of California around. Are you guys ready for that?
Yeah. What would you do on day one to address this issue of school closures and masking of children?
Thank you so much. I know I shared already a little bit about this, but so all of last year, I was getting text messages, phone calls from moms saying, Sarah, my kids are now doing school on their computer. They're depressed. My kids are talking about things that I never thought they'd ever talk about. I can't handle the stress. Some of these women are police officer wives. They're saying in confidence, Sarah, I don't even know what to do. I have nowhere to turn to. I'm drinking at home. I'm this, I'm that. So this masking up of the children has not affected just the children. It's affected families. It's affected marriages. And so it's time for us to not only lift the mask mandate, but it's time for us, like I shared before, I'm a Christian. I believe that each and every person that is put on this earth was put on this earth for a purpose and a reason. It has a destiny and a calling. And so it is my goal and aim like I said, to get rid of the critical race theory, get rid of the sexual indoctrination. We need to bring God back to our school. How about getting the 10 Commandments back in? How about getting the Pledge of Allegiance? I know these seem like basic things, but it's time to bring back God and country. See, what socialism and communism does is they take God out of the picture. And when you take God out of the picture and you take away our constitutional rights and our human rights, our civil rights, now what you do is you're saying that the government is more important and the government knows more than I know as a parent or I know as an individual. So it's time to strip the government of their power in our schools and across every segment of society. It's time for we the people to rise. It's time for the power to come back to the people so we can so everyone can be who they are called to be and do all that they're called to do. So it is my goal and my aim to set everyone free, whether it's children, adults, everyone, into their destiny and their calling. Thank you.
Tax burden once elected.
Yes. So I think each and every one of us know very well that we pay the highest taxes pretty much in the nation. And the question is, where is our tax dollars going to? If you go down to Burbank right now, they have incredibly high taxes and the roads are filled with potholes and it's just absolutely unbelievable. So what I am doing day one is an audit on the entire state of California, because guess what? If you look at how much money we're spending and where it's really going, I think each and every one of us would say that have our neighborhoods gotten any better in the last 4 years, aesthetics pleasing? No, but yeah, we're paying the same taxes. So the question is, where is the money going? And not only is the money, where is it going, but how are these politicians who come into office and they're only making $200,000 a year, $500,000 a year at the very max, right? But they leave as multi-millionaires. So, you know, anyone can do the math. There's extortion and there's stealing of money. If you guys do any amount of research right now on Gavin Newsom and the money that he spends for the homeless right now, about 2 or 3 cents out of $200 actually goes to help the homeless. So it's time for a full audit across the state of California where all of our money is going. And it's time to tear down all of those people. A lot of people need to go to jail in California. I'm sure you all know that.
Yeah.
But all these people that are stealing, their judgment day is coming. And I'm going to make sure, because I have enough law enforcement friends to know that it's time for people to be put behind bars and for our money to go to spend what it's actually meant to do, which is to help our community.
So what will you do to relieve the high prices of housing?
So I'm out with the people all the time at so many events. And this is one of the number one things that people ask me is, Sarah, I can't even afford to have a small single family home because the prices are so ridiculous. So how can we address this situation? Number one, we have so much inflation here in California, it's ridiculous. Everything is so much more expensive. Why? Because everyone needs a cut out of everything. It is time for us to bring the housing prices down. How can we do this? I don't know if some of you have heard this or not, but actually if you go into the areas right now, such as Los Angeles, 1/5 of Los Angeles is completely and totally empty. And guess who's buying a whole bunch of property all across across California right now? Bill Gates. This whole socialist communist agenda that has come in has gone to run out business owners, to run out the hardworking Californians, and what are they doing? They're buying up all the land. So that now the housing prices are rising through the roof, and who's buying these houses? There are so many of my friends that are real estate agents that are saying people are paying in cash $600,000, $700,000, and they say, guess who's buying them all? Guess who owns almost all the high rises right now in Los Angeles? The Chinese. This is a literal attack on our freedom. How are we going to bring the prices down? By controlling who's going to buy and who can't buy. Right now in California, so many people are buying houses that are not even citizens. Try to do this in another nation, it would never even work out. So it's time for us to control who's buying, who's not buying, and it's also time for us to control the amount of money that these houses are. We can put limits on this so that people can actually afford their homes again. This is possible.
Thank you. Employers are mandating an experimental shot, and the governor is giving away money to incentivize Californians to take it. What will you do to uphold our medical freedom and constitutional rights?
So whenever people ask me about what I feel or think about the Constitution, I say it should be the supreme law of the land. This is what separates us from every nation across the entire world, is our constitutional rights. And these mandates that are coming out, the mask mandates and the vaccine mandates, are a direct attack on our constitutional rights. And not only are they an attack on our constitutional rights, but if you want to look even further, they're a violation, especially with the vaccine. It's a violation of the Nuremberg Codes, which says that no one should be forced to medically do something that they do not want to do. So the powers that be right now, we don't need to say Newsom's name 1,000 times, but this is exactly what is happening. He's not only violating our constitutional rights, but he's also violating our international rights. And so my goal and my aim is to make sure, day one, that no one, whether they're a government employee, at the school boards, a child, anywhere, is going to have to be forced to be vaccinated. I'm even going to go a step further. I want to expose the darkness. I want to talk about what's really going on. I want to talk about how to heal COVID-19, about with hydroxychloroquine and ivermectin. I want to actually solve the situation. Let's think about that, because we didn't need to have all these people die because they were told that they couldn't take these certain medications. That's why the frontline doctors are under attack right now, because they just want to send everybody to the hospital, get them on ventilators so that COVID could spread to the other lung and kill everybody. So I'm going to tell you, this is an attack on our freedom. We need to stand up for our rights. I want to bring the truth. Does anyone know that the VAERS and how many people are dying with that vaccine right now? It's about 50 people a day across the state of California within the last 8 months. So I believe that if people want to get the vaccine, they should. If they don't want to, they shouldn't have to. It's time for the people to have their power back. Thank you.
What is your solution to the backlogged employee development department and the releasing of funds for small businesses?
The reason why we're in such an economic crisis right now is because of what happened in 2020. I think each and every one of us knows that when there's decisions that are made that are not in our favor, there's going to be repercussions. So when you shut down an entire economy for about a year, who's going to end up paying for that? Guess what? Each and every one of us are. So we have literally millions of people on unemployment right now. How are we going to stop this? Number one, it seems so easy, but this is what we need to do, is fully reopen the economy. How do we do that? We help small businesses come back to life. Day one in office, this is what I'm going to do. As you heard me share before, how I fought for small businesses all last year. I am going to make sure that every small business here in California, we examine and help each and every one of them by doing what? First and foremost, taking off every cease and desist on their records, every lawsuit, and every fine, clearing all of their records. Now what I'm going to be doing is helping put money into small businesses so that they can thrive again. Because guess what? Every small business that we help, do you know how many people they employ? Millions and millions of people across the state of California. There's over 10 million people that are employed by small business owners. So this is a huge strategy. So dealing with the backlog of the unemployment, I believe that it's time that we can help people for probably maybe another 6 months. But what we really need to do is get people back to work, get people thriving, educated, becoming business owners themselves so that we can thrive again. This is our time to shine in California, and we could do it, and we could do it quick if we have the right people in place, and we can help the small businesses that want to change their communities. Thank you.
Latino voters for Trump increased from 25 to 40% between 2016 and 2020. What are you guys doing to encourage Latino voters to vote for you?
So as my husband and I are pastors, we have been ministering to people for years, and our church has been pretty much the face of California. We have Black, white, Mexican, Asian, pretty much every nationality across the board. And we've actually planted a church in Tijuana, Mexico, so we have a huge support system all across California in the Hispanic community. And the most important thing, I think, for reaching out to the Hispanic community and what I'm currently doing is like you heard me say, I'm from San Diego. I went to Helix High School, which was the most diverse, one of the most diverse high schools in all of San Diego. All of my best friends were from Mexico. They came up in the 2nd grade. We all went together. I still don't have perfect Spanish. Don't ask me why. But I have become friends with so many Hispanics, and guess what? The color of our skin means absolutely nothing. What matters is the heart of freedom for each and every one of us. And so I believe that the Hispanics vote is so important, because I have friends on our team that were Democrats for years, and they're Hispanic, and they said, Sarah, I had no idea that I was a part of the Democratic Party and what they really stand for. And he said, I didn't know, Sarah, I was a baby killer. I was voting for all of these bad things. And now, after 2020, my eyes have become open. Everything has become clear. I want to stand for freedom. I want to stand for family. So really, what is it about? It's about educating people. It's about reaching out to individuals and sharing with them our heart of what makes California so beautiful, what makes America so beautiful. And each and every one Hispanic that has come here from Mexico, they would never want to go back to Mexico. So it is time for us to embrace the Hispanic community. And if you guys know me on a personal level, you'll see that I would say 50% of my friends are Hispanic. So we're reaching out. If you're Hispanic, I want you to know that we love you and we encourage you to be a part of this freedom movement with us together. Thank you.
This is a yes or no question. We don't need a dialogue here. Would you accept the endorsement of President Trump?
Yes. And I've got to run.
Thank you very much.
Oh, appreciate it.
Thank you, John. Thank you so much. He's got to go to a press conference in Orange County, so that's why he's hustling out.
Okay, Sarah, would you accept the endorsement of President Trump?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, I would accept the endorsement of President Trump.
All right, big hand for
Mr. Lem xin nhắc để mọi người chú ý. Trong phòng hội hiện tại khoảng hơn 100 người. Từ cử tọa cho tới khách mời không ai đeo mặt nạ, tức là tiếng Anh nó gọi là đeo mask á. Ngoại trừ nhân viên của khách sạn phục vụ. Cho nên đừng tin bọn truyền thông thổ tả nó nói ở Cali bệnh Covid. Nếu có thì người ta sợ, người ta không có dám tụ họp như thế này. Hiện thời là sau 12 giờ trưa ngày 24 tháng 8 2021. Mr. Lem đang có mặt tại khách sạn Holiday Inn thuộc quận hạt San Diego, California. Hai người này là nhân viên của nhà hàng mà có người đeo mask, người không. Ở đây tất cả những người này đâu có ai đeo mask. Nếu thật sự mà có bệnh hoạn như mà tụi thổ tả nó nói, bệnh chết gì đó, thì đâu có ai tới đây dám dự gì nè. Những người tới đây dự là phải trả tiền á. Nếu sợ bệnh thì họ nằm ở nhà rồi. Hôm nay là Mr. Lem quay cái phim này đông cho bà con, chứng minh cho bà con thấy là bọn thổ tả nó nói ở Cali này nọ bệnh chết vậy, có ai đâu. Mình chỉ nói con số thôi.
Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe